According to one version of the Hindu origin story, Om is the first sound and vibration of creation. As Vishnu woke from the coils of a sleeping serpent, a lotus flower emerged from his core, and from this lotus arose Durga, the goddess who split the lotus into three parts: the earth, embowered in trees and flowers; the sky, filled with the light and shadow of the sun and the moon; and the heavens, woven into the infinite fabric of the universe. Hi everyone, my name is Priya Shah, and I'm here to talk to you today about my pen and ink piece, simply titled Om. So any discussion of my spirituality or my relationship with religion really goes back to being the daughter of Indian immigrants to the United States. Religion has always been a complicated subject for me. My beliefs about the divine, my sense of spirituality, and my personal ethics are intimately tied up to my experience as the daughter of Indian immigrants to the U.S. My parents were born in India, my mother Sandhya in the metropolitan city of Mumbai, and my father Jitendra in the small village of Halol in the state of Gujarat. My brother and I, on the other hand, were raised in California near San Francisco. Every few years, we would take the long trip to India to visit our grandparents. By this time, my mother's mother, who we lovingly called Amma, had moved from the ever more bustling city of Mumbai to Baroda in the state of Gujarat. During the summers, the weather was so hot and muggy that there was little my brother and I could do outside. Amma would haul out a giant box of Indian comic books that a relative had given her for just these occasions, and we would spend hours poring over them, reading the English language ones and gazing at the pictures if the text was in Hindi. Once, when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old, as I lay in my warm bed covered by a frilly pink canopy, I dreamed that Krishna came and held me, filling my whole being with love and the feeling of being cared for. I hadn't shared this moment with anyone. Perhaps it was always too fragile in the face of my burgeoning intellectual rejection of dogmatic religion, but it formed the kernel of my own private, almost inarticulable sense of spirituality. I did not have the vocabulary then to identify patriarchy, misogyny, and casteism as the source for the negative imagery of women I was seeing in these comic book stories, which were actually taken from old Hindu mythology. It was only later in college and graduate school that I began to fully come to appreciate the role that imperialism, nationalism, and fundamentalism had come to play in shaping Hinduism throughout the ages. It's funny how memory plays with us, amplifying certain memories that legitimate our current beliefs and removing others from view. It seems to me now, looking back as an adult, that it was here in Amma's apartment that my own idiosyncratic relationship with the religion of my ancestors was formed. All of these years, I did not have the language to express my own intimate personal sense of the spiritual. Now, even though I had the theoretical language, it would not be primarily with words, but rather through my art, that I could begin to make sense of the web of memories, desires, feelings, and visual images that continues to exist in my innermost sense of self, despite my intellectual rejection of religion with a capital R. And so I draw, I erase, I put ink to paper, and I draw some more. I draw to honor Sita, I draw to honor Draupadi, I draw to honor my childhood dreams of Krishna, and I draw the stories of my youth, which embody the love, the security, and the longings of my childhood as an Indian American girl.